Hello again, everyone. Roscoe McGillicuddy here with yet another Stone Cold Busted review. In my previous video, we discussed all the screwed up stuff that goes down in the Thomas and Friends series, like all the trains being total drama queens, and Sir Topham Hatt being a maniacal dictator. All that was a lot of fun, so if you haven't seen that video yet, please check it out. But, since Thomas and Friends continually proves itself to be a golden case study in abnormal psychology, we will continue showcasing this series until we have explored every instance of dysfunction it can provide. I expect this could take us roughly 277 years. Today we will be looking at an episode titled Edward Helps Out. For this video, I chose source material from an early season of the show, because I believe it has more charm than the newer animated reboots. Now, before we get started, as I mentioned in my previous video, the Thomas and Friends series is thousands of years old. Radiocarbon dating of this episode dates it to having been produced sometime around the year 2000 BC. Also discussed in my previous video, Moses was a huge fan of Thomas and Friends, and archaeologists have proven this was one of his favorite episodes. This story begins in the cell block where Sir Topham Hatt imprisons his fleet of unpaid trains. Specifically, this building houses only the important engines on Sodor. It is unclear where the other 4,784 trains on Sodor are housed, but that is beside the point. Even from the start of this episode, the train's wide range of personality defects are on full display. James's cheeks are about to jump right off his face. Gordon is showing all the enthusiasm of someone calculating his annual income taxes. Thomas is only here to make sure people watch the show because for some reason, he's special. Henry, I don't even want to know what's going on there. And then we have Edward, who is the star of this episode, already looking disappointed, disillusioned, and dismayed. Why? Well, if you remember from my previous video, Edward is not the biggest engine, nor the prettiest, nor the fastest, nor the strongest, nor the best at picking up chicks. The other trains are basically bullying Edward because of his size, which is just super awesome. Of course, Gordon is being the biggest jerk of them all because, well, he is the biggest jerk of them all.
The driver won't choose you again, said Gordon. He wants strong engines like us.
Edward is disappointed that he might not be chosen for work today. Now, in the real world, a normal person would be ecstatic to hear that they may not have any work to do for the day. But oh no, not on the island of Sodor, because all of these trains have a borderline sick fixation on being useful, as if their entire sense of self-worth depends on it. So some dudes who actually live among all these talking trains have pity on Edward and ask him if he'd like to do some work, and Edward is elated. He puffs away while all his quote-unquote buddies give him dirty looks, even though they are the ones who get to take it easy while Edward expends physical effort all day. Later that evening, Edward brags to the others about how much work he did all day for absolutely zero pay, and for some reason, the other engines are jealous of this. The next morning, Gordon is still running his mouth about how important he thinks he is.
You watch me, little Edward, as I rush through with the express. That will be a splendid sight for you.
Of course, no one is impressed by this because they see trains pulling cars all the time. Gordon leaves, but not without low-key threatening Edward first.
Goodbye, little Edward. Look out for me this afternoon.
Edward ignores Gordon because he knows Gordon is just a dork, and goes about the yard doing odd jobs for the day, which apparently involves little more than just moving random freight cars around for absolutely no reason. Oh wow, milk gets put into giant unrefrigerated containers in a train yard? So at some point, Gordon comes by all angry and stuff, because instead of his normal express line, he was given a dirty freight train to pull. Gordon expresses his displeasure vocally in one of the most verbose and poetic ways possible.
A freight train, a freight train, a freight train, he grumbled. The shame of it, the shame of it, oh, the shame of it.
Edward makes a comment to himself about how big of a loser Gordon is. He chuckles and goes off to continue doing more useless work. Later on, Gordon gets stuck on a hill. Interestingly enough, throughout the series, this hill is referred to many times as Gordon's Hill, which implies that Gordon is the only engine strong enough to make it to the top. However, rarely is Gordon's Hill ever mentioned at all unless Gordon himself is having trouble getting to the top. Even more interesting still, Gordon seems to always get stuck on this hill shortly after running his mouth about how awesome he is. Gordon's team of humans is chewing him out, threatening to call the evil Sir Topham Hatt to have Gordon scrapped. Gordon is clearly tired, as is evidenced by this red chalk smeared all over his face. Edward arrives to help, and Gordon basically tells Edward to pound sand. But the people, who are apparently actually the ones in charge, greenlight this plan and arrange for Edward to push Gordon and his load up the hill bearing his own name. Very insulting. Side note, in real life, an engine the size of Gordon would likely be able to pull a much larger load than this with no trouble whatsoever. But Gordon's a big wuss, so... Oh yeah, and it's pretty important that these two cars full of broken rocks get there too. Eventually, Gordon gets to the top of the hill and then proceeds to leave Edward in his dust without even as much as a thank you. What Gordon fails to realize is that Edward may have actually saved Gordon's life here, because if Gordon had not been able to crest the hill, it is very likely that the evil Sir Topham Hatt would have had Gordon scrapped altogether. Edward is really tired, and quite frankly, Gordon's jerkiness had bummed him out pretty bad, so he decides to drink his sorrows away at the next station. One really dirty dude, who works with Edward, says,
"I'll get out my paint tomorrow and give you a beautiful coat of blue with red stripes."
And apparently, this is all Edward needs to hear to feel better again. It doesn't matter to Edward that he has no working relationships with his friends or co-workers. It doesn't matter that he has worked within an inch of his life for absolutely no compensation. It doesn't even matter to him that he saved another train from possible execution. Nope. All that matters is that he'll look good with a new coat of paint. But really, what good is new paint anyway? The guy says he'll paint Edward blue with red stripes, which is exactly how Edward already looks. That's like saying, "Man, you did such a great job today. I'm going to get you a new copy of the shirt you're already wearing." But as does any engine on the island of Sodor, Edward possesses deep personality flaws, and therefore his priorities are completely screwed up beyond recognition. So to recap, Edward, whatever. Gordon is being a colossal jerk. Moses loves Thomas. Gordon talks smack. Gordon can't perform. Edward almost kills himself helping out. Gordon pieces out on Edward and doesn't look back. Edward drinks, then is consoled with a promise of a worthless gift. And that's why Edward is stone cold busted. So that'll wrap up today's video. I would like to thank all of you for watching. If you liked the video, please show me by clicking the thumbs up button down below. And if you could, please leave a comment too. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you want to tell me what you liked about this video, that's great. If you want to tell me what you didn't like about the video, go ahead and do that too. I'll read them all, and sometimes I'll even reply to them. But I can't reply to a comment you don't post. So go ahead and post a comment too. And look, it shows that you support me by clicking that subscribe button. So go ahead and click it right now. And if you're going to subscribe, you may as well click the notification bell too, because that will tell you immediately whenever I've posted a new video or made a community post or something like that. You don't want to miss any more content from this channel, so click that notification bell right now. But anyway, guys, again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you on the next Stone Cold Busted review.